out towards the north, Islamabad, almost 2,000 kilometers, more than that. And we visited different places. We visited Mohenjo-daro, and we explored how those old civilization has used to have relationship with the big cats, with tigers and lions. So that was also a finding for me as well. That 5,000 BC and in 7,000 BC, how those people used to live with, coexist with lions and big cats. So that was also part of that documentary. So now we are like looking to expand, and we are looking to take our festival to different colleges and universities. We want to have this kind of road trip where we want to take our festival, because that's our target audience, the youth.
Hi everyone, welcome to Now Boarding, a new travel podcast by me, Payal Nayar. This show aims at creating awareness about ecotourism, sustainable tourism, responsible travel, and a lot more. We will cover stories and journeys of people who are ecotourism specialists and those who are leaders in their field. We will also be talking to people who have had unique travel experiences, remarkable conceptual places to stay, unexplored cultures, and ancient histories of various towns and cities around the world. Join me in this journey of knowing more about travel. Get inspired to see the world and discover your inner self. Hi everyone. Today I am in conversation with Syed Raza. Syed is a certified Nat Geo educator. He's a multimedia environmental educator. He's a researcher, a content creator, and he's got tremendous experience in wildlife conservation and in filmmaking. He's also, I have to add here, an environmental activist, and Syed is a part of many international environmental organizations, again, as an activist. Thank you so much for joining me today, Syed.
Thank you for having me on your show, and it's been wonderful seeing you live on the talk here. And I've been going through some of your content. It's been very good, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, but this is not about me, it's about you. So, can we kickstart the conversation with you telling us a little bit about your journey, your personal journey? That's one. And then two, what really inspired you to become an environmental activist and also a filmmaker?
So it all goes back to the days when I just bought my first DSLR back in 2009. And at that time, I used to have multiple kind of photos in my camera. I was going for this subject, going for that subject. And then I left my MSc in mass communication because it was all theoretical. And I was looking to do something more practical. And I started my master's in fine arts. So where I get to know about these digital subjects and this blend of digital and manual. So I learn about sketching, drawing, and then I did something related to photography, Photoshop, Illustrator. So that gave me a kind of boost. And the camera I now had a purpose that I can make money from doing smaller projects, photo shoots, video shoots. And my first project, I still remember, I don't know how it happened, but it came from WWF back in 2011 for World Wetlands Day. And one of the guy approached, okay, look, you have a camera and we want you to do a small video shoot with the kids. It's a song about wetlands. And then we want to do a little bit of event coverage. So I used to do event coverage for WWF and other corporate organizations. So I did that. So then I kept on doing this kind of projects for different organizations. I did some of the mainstream media stuff, some music videos, and some being part of one of the films as a production team member and the support. I was doing internship with them. So then it clicked to me that I need to like upscale myself and all that. So in 2014, one of this guy approached me and it told me like, you were looking for something. I have seen your some of. I was doing a lot of macro photography back in the days, and I wanted to upscale it towards some of the wildlife stuff, but I don't know how to do it in Pakistan. So one of the guy approached me. He was the guy who first time ever who filmed the snow leopard for BBC Planet Earth series in 2007. So he said, we are doing this documentary on Margalla Hills National Park right next to the capital, and it has leopards and it has other mammals and a lot of bird variety there, and we want you to be on the team. So I was really excited, and that thing actually changed me. So in 2014, I did that project. The call time for the shoot used to be like 4 a.m. Right before the dawn. You have to go in and wait for the birds. So today is the birds day. The next day we have to do like today is the day we have to film some of the monkeys and wild boars, how they are moving in the forest. And then we used to set up the camera traps and we used to go off the trails. So that was a journey that I love, like part of the job, like the previous ones and this one. Like this one, I'm happy to wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm ready to go on. And if the car is available, fine. Otherwise, I'll just take my bike out and just to reach the there on time and all that. And then every day we used to get this whole bag. So like I'm gonna withdraw a Canon 5D Mark III camera. I'm going to have a Canon 600 lens with f4 aperture. I'm going to have this smaller lens. So the whole kit is given to me, issued to me, and I just did the sign on the document, and I'm going to the forest, and I know on the Google Maps that this is the area today I have to discover. So that actually changed me. Those 4 months, I said I should be doing this thing for the rest of my life. And then I was also teaching in one of the university as a visiting faculty member. I was teaching photography and design. So then I started looking into going towards like doing some kind of MPhil masters to do some kind of documentary filmmaking into wildlife conservation and science communication. And I looked for some of the organizations. So luckily, one of my friends said, there's this university in Cyberjaya, multimedia university. You should come to Malaysia and check this out. Forget about going to Germany and Austria. You should come here. It's cheaper here. And I was really intrigued and really inspired by the videos I saw. And look, this is the sun bear. This is the Malayan sun bear. How I can film that? And then I just applied with a research proposal. It got accepted. And I was in Cyberjaya, Malaysia in 2016 of November. And at the same time, I just started my this initiative, Find Focus Films. I launched my website, I launched my Instagram and all the handles. I said, whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to do under this umbrella, and I'll be doing that. And one of my professors said to me that you come to Malaysia and you have already know what you want to do your research about that sun bears. How this happened? I said I did a lot of research, and I came to know that there are orangutans, there is sun bears, there are Malayan tigers, very few of them. Then a lot of marine species, reptiles, turtles. But I really like the sun bears. I don't know, and for that I have to go to Borneo in Sabah, in Borneo Sun Bear Conservation Center with Dr. Wong. He's doing a wonderful job, and I have to go there. And for going there, I need to secure another research fund. It took me 3 years. The time I enrolled into my master program and the time I went there, it took me almost 2.5 or 3 years. So I went there, and in the meanwhile, I start doing this kind of, because when you're doing research, you have to keep on upscaling. There's no curriculum you're following. So my professor kept on telling me there's this workshop happening in KL. You should go and attend this workshop, and they will give you a certificate. There's another workshop happening in Penang. There's this event happening in Singapore. You should go there and attend that. So I keep on like upscaling myself through those workshops and seminars, and trying to publish my papers, writing the concept papers. So from there, I kind of developed this habit of research proposal writing and all that. So in 2019, in March, I went to Kimaman River. It's in Terengganu, Malaysia, with
Yeah.
Noik. Yeah, she's doing this research on river terrapins. Yeah, the freshwater turtles. And I did a film with them. The film last year got selected for Vida Bird Film Festival in Hollywood, California. So that was that subject I did for a short time. And then in the June, I got the confirmation from Dr. Wong that I can come to Sabah. So that was like a turning point in my life, that I'm going to visit this 130 million year old rainforest. And I had this experience of discovering the Margala Hills, which is a temperate forest, which becomes rainforest during the monsoon season, as you know, in India and Pakistan. So I went there, and it was amazing working with all those people. And it was not me. There were other students like me coming, someone coming from Switzerland, someone coming from Germany, and someone coming from all the way from US, from London. So we had a very good discussion about wildlife conservation, about different wildlife conservation issues. And then I did my documentary in 2019, which got selected for Wildlife Conservation Film Festival, which was on Malayan sun bears. And then the COVID happened. In the COVID break, I just have to rush back to my the home country, Pakistan. And here I started this thing, Pakistan International Wildlife and Eco Film Festival. And I used all my experience from ADEX Malaysia and from Kuala Lumpur Eco Film Festival and all the colleagues and friends I've made from different parts of the world. They are doing wonderful jobs. Someone is doing producing films for BBC. Someone is producing films from National Geographic. So they helped me, and then they gave me films for Pakistan International Wildlife Film Festival. Recently, I did my first Netflix documentary. I was the assistant producer for Pakistan chapter. We did something on archaeological and historical appearances of big cats and why people want to pet big cats in Pakistan. And this is a huge thing which is going out of control in a way that everyone wants to pet a lion in their home or a tiger in their home. And this is really a big question mark on the reputation and progress of wildlife departments. That what are they doing? The smuggling is going on, the captive breeding is going on. So these are all the issues which we kept on exploring and searching, and I had to many times work with different NGOs for different purposes of wildlife conservation, to be involved in the activism, like with the Four Paws and Free the Wild. When I came back in Pakistan, the hot subject was the Kavan, the lonely elephant from Islamabad Zoo, and the court has already ordered to release Kavan. It should be going to the elephant sanctuary in Cambodia. It was gifted to Pakistan from by Sri Lanka in 1985. So it was living his life in solitary confinement, you can say, for almost 35 years in this small area, which is like, you can say, like less than an acre of land. And it is just living his life in that small area. And Islamabad has a very bone chilling winters, and elephants and Asian elephants are not used to of winters. And it is from Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka don't have winters. It has a temperate kind of condition, and that elephant has been living there, and it has discovered this behavior of psychosis, which is keeps on banging his head from left to right. So Dr. Amir from Four Paws, they came in, they helped him. The court order in favor of us, thanks to Cher from USA. She came to Pakistan to help Kavan. And then the Summer, the other activist who was a doctor in US, and she actually ran this campaign on change.org, and she got a lot of signatures, almost 200,000 plus signatures in just within a week to free Kavan. So that became a turning point, and we were all together in Islamabad, and I was doing filming there as well. And then we helped Kavan to move out of Pakistan. We trained, actually, Dr. Amit trained him how to be wild again. That's so sad for us that an elephant has to be trained again to be wild again. So he can go back into 40,000 acre of sanctuary in Cambodia. And now recently they shared the pictures of Kavan. He's taking a dip in this kind of a pond there and having the mud bath in the wild open space. And this is what we want to like achieve more and more, because these animals in the zoos, because I visited the Singapore Zoo and there are other zoos like Chester Zoo, they actually collaborate a lot in terms of wildlife conservation. But the zoos here in Pakistan and other third world countries, they're not of that high standards. And then again, you have to look for indigenous animals. Now you're getting an African elephant to live in the, like we have in Pakistan. So same for the other animals as well. So then the zoo was closed, all the animals were released. And these were some of the small projects. I did some of the filming back for Smithsonian Channel at that time for the Kavan, the elephant. So all of this end up into having me doing me at this film festival in Pakistan International Wildlife and Eco Film Festival. We had the first edition this year. After all this political boiling up temperature and everything happening in Pakistan, and people asking me, especially these guys, my friends who came from UK, they live in Philippines and East Malaysia, and they were filming for this big cat documentary for Netflix, and they asking me, "Are you sure we are free to come to Pakistan? We are seeing different news on the TV." I said, "You are completely free. Just come in, and everything is fine. And this is just that area where this all political things are happening. So the rest of the country is okay to travel, and we travel almost from south towards the north, Islamabad, almost 2,000 kilometers, more than that. And we visited different places. We visited Mohenjo-daro, and we explored how those old civilization has used to have relationship with the big cats, with tigers and lions. So that was also a finding for me as well, that 5,000 BC and in 7,000 BC, how those people used to live with coexist with lions and big cats. So that was also part of that documentary. So now we are like looking to expand, and we are looking to take our festival to different colleges and universities. We want to have this kind of road trip where we want to take our festival, because that's our target audience, the youth. We have like 80 million smartphone users in Pakistan, and 60% of them are under the age of 24 years. So that's a huge number. And none of them has been, you can say, exposed to some high content of wildlife conservation documentaries. Like in India, I used to say to my Indian friends, like, you have Net Geo India, you have Discovery India, you have Animal Planet India. We have nothing in Pakistan. So something has to come up, and that's Pakistan International Wildlife and Eco Film Festival, where all these colleagues of mine from National Geographic and BBC are helping me to create more and more wildlife conservation and awareness films for youth.
How do you sort of emotionally go through it, the process, and what are some of your tools, which I think would be interesting for people who are listening in, who are also keen on contributing to getting the environment to be a better place, or contributing to conservation of wildlife wherever they may be. So some tips on how you stay disconnected, or how you're connected but you allow emotionally to not get impacted, or you do get impacted. So just some of your personal sort of takings from your experience.
So coming back to the first point you raised, how emotionally we can get that. So for me, uh, I have this developed this hypothesis in my thesis, which was environmental awareness leads to environmental action. I call this model CEAA: communication, education, awareness, and action. So action comes later. First, you need to aware that audience and the target audience about what actually is happening. So once they have awareness, they will attach their emotions, their feelings, that this is something that is happening to us, our environment, our nature, and it's going to impact us as well. So then the action can be achieved once there is a proper awareness. Now, coming towards awareness, I would say I wish I could know more languages, and I could do my content in different languages, because again, this is very important. The way I approach it is, we need to penetrate as much as we can into different societies within a country. There are different languages. Like even in Malaysia, there are different dialects of Malay language. Like in Singapore, it's different. In Malaysia, it's different. So even if you can communicate in those different dialects of the language, that's gonna actually grip that particular audience. Like if I do something in Punjabi, so then definitely it's going to have more impact on Punjabi audience. And if I'm doing that thing in Urdu for Punjabi audience, that's going to have a less impact. And if I'm doing that in English for Punjabi audience, that's going to have a very little impact. So you need to have more penetrative, I would say, this kind of languages where you can talk to people in their own language, in their own dialects. If you cannot do it, you need to have people on your team, like if you're doing something on a bigger scale. So now the second point you said, that my tips, I would say that these days, I believe everyone is a content creator these days. With the mobile, Instagram, and TikTok, doesn't matter you're doing it professionally, doesn't matter you're not doing. We have events. Like if someone has a birthday and he made a TikTok video of his birthday and uploaded it, and all his friends like it and it went viral. So he's a content creator as well. And then people like me and my colleagues and photographers as well, they are doing this thing in the forest and they uploaded their stuff on TikTok, and it's the same story. The thing is, he's doing his birthday video once in a year, or he's doing some little videos. And I, as a professional content creator, doing more videos. So that's a different story. So everyone knows how to create content. So the next thing is, you have to have this education, this self-awareness thing in people, that if they see something wrong in terms of environment, nature, they would be able to report it straight from their phones. So this is where this festival kind of things come in, and especially when we go out to reach out to masses rather than waiting for one event a year, we go to different universities and colleges, and we want to have this kind of thing, that students should contribute to us. And a lot of camera and different companies do it. When they're doing their marketing, they say, okay, this is a marketing campaign. Send your best photos of pizza.
I've really enjoyed listening to you, and I haven't needed to really ask you any questions or anything because you've just developed the conversation as we went along. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and keep up the good
Thank
work.
you.
And I'm definitely going to follow your journey. And
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
sure all my listeners and viewers are going to be the same. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Now Boarding, a travel podcast. Check out other episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. And of course, don't forget to share your thoughts with us. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes only on Now Boarding, a travel podcast.